Fall. It is time of great change as the world prepares itself for winter. With the ominous promise of a dark winter ahead, many of us celebrate by dressing as parrots or dyeing our horses green. Some of us choose something more sinister. Zombies have become a cultural fascination, from popular TV shows to the rewriting of Pride and Prejudice to charity zombie marches. It is clear that we are fascinated by creatures that are dead, but not. But fall is a time for a different sort of living dead. The murky depths of the West Coast rivers have their own plague of zombie-esque creatures to contend with. They are the swimming dead. This plague has existed for thousands of years. All salmonids suffer from it, but every year the Pacific salmon are the hardest hit. Rivers surrounding the North Pacific see thousands of swimming dead each fall. The fish eventually perish, leaving their carcasses to rot. The smell of the decomposing bodies can engulf entire towns. For the fish themselves, the journey upriver is a quest essential to their life cycle. Some of them journey thousands of kilometers upriver without eating to spawn. Their bodies start to break down as soon as they hit fresh water. But their drive is relentless. Once they reach their spawning grounds, the female needs to dig and defend a redd to lay her eggs, while the males use their last ounces of energy to fight for a chance to fertilize the eggs.
It's not entirely accurate to refer to spawning salmon as a zombie plague. While the rotting flesh, altered physiology, and mindless resolve may suggest zombieism, the mere fact that they are reproducing suggests that they are still alive. While this does affect all Pacific salmon, all evidence points to this phenomenon being genetically predetermined rather than a pathogen. The animal kingdom is full of simiparous animals, that is, animals who die after mating. Butterflies, cicadas, mayflies, octopuses, the gladiator frog, leopard's chameleon. Salmon simply do it with the most zeal.
It is the ultimate sacrifice to their young. After they lay their eggs, they will die. In the spring, when the young emerge, the nutrients from their parents' rotting bodies will have recycled into creatures like this mayfly nymph, which will in turn provide food for the young.
What we have found is that the salmon are actually a crucial part of the ecosystem. They bring millions of pounds of nutrients and energy upstream. Without the nutrients, the ecosystems in and around rivers would be dramatically altered.
During the salmon run, rivers become feeding frenzies. The gulls and mergansers have their pick today. Soon thousands of eagles will arrive for the feast. The bears take the opportunity to fatten up before their long winter sleep. Since Europeans' arrival, they have tried their hardest to exterminate the Pacific salmon. Many are caught and eaten long before they make it to the ocean. Once at the rivers, ready to spawn, dams have been effective at stopping their progress. Some rivers, like the Fraser, remain undammed. Humans still fight the plague by polluting rivers and destroying wetlands and estuaries, crucial rearing ground for the young, but the creatures persist. While many people revile the smell, many look forward to the salmon run. In the past, tens of thousands of First Nations people would travel to the rivers during the salmon run to stock up on food and to celebrate nature's bounty. The salmon remain a vital part of many people's lives, and fishermen and women still flock to the rivers. On a rainy October day, people are gathered at Kanaka Creek. They are here to see the spectacle of the zombie plague, to get up close and personal with the affected fish, and bring offerings of crafts for the swimming dead. For Ross Davies, however, it's not just a sideshow. He works for Keeps, an organization dedicated to educating people and protecting the Kanaka Creek watershed, so creatures like this can survive to pass on its legacy.
Protect the zombies! We're all just kind of dying to do that. Well, it starts off with a lot of public education. We're in an area that is rapidly developing, and we are not going to stop road building. We're not going to stop development. We know that. So our philosophy is the people are coming, and we know it. Let's get them here, let's educate them, and let's make a community full of stewards.
Ross isn't the only one keen to help the salmon. Here at the Harrison River, a class of fish and wildlife students help the Chinook research team tag and catch the biggest of the Pacific salmon. Also known as the spring king or Tyee, the Chinook can grow up to 1.5 meters long and live for up to 7 years before they are overwhelmed by the urge to spawn. For some, their migration will take them over 3,000 kilometers, but these fish have already reached their final resting place. Once they have spawned, they will be playing a waiting game with death. Later, the researchers will scour the river, counting carcasses, trying to recover their tags, and looking for oddities, like this unspawned female. These Chinook were raised in a hatchery and implanted with a tiny coated wire tag before they were released. Removing their heads not only ensures that they will not rise from the dead, but also allows that tag to be retrieved, giving scientists insights into the migration of these creatures. Among the Chinook today are the chum, or dog salmon, named for their elongated snout and teeth that grow once they enter fresh water. They can easily be distinguished by the purple bars on their side, another feature that shows itself only when it's in the zombie stage of life. On many rivers they are the most numerous salmon. The smell of the dead can be overpowering, and the sight of them in their last days can be chilling. Sockeye are perhaps the most iconic salmon. These ones on the Horsefly River have already traveled over 500 kilometers. While they are killing themselves in their persistent drive, they turn a brilliant shade of red. The green-headed fish has become not a symbol of decay and stench, but one of determination and the bounty of nature. But don't let their stunning colors deceive you. These fish are clinging to life. They have not eaten for weeks, and the fresh water and physical exertion are shutting down their immune system. Hiding in the shadows of this sockeye are the droves of pink salmon. The pink salmon only live for 2 years before the genetic switch telling them to move into zombie phase is turned on. The switch is so flawlessly programmed that here on the Fraser River, millions of pink salmon will migrate on odd years, while none will migrate on even. Averaging just over 2 kilograms each, they are the smallest of North America's Pacific salmon, but what they lack in size, they make up for in ugliness. The males develop a large hump, giving the pink salmon the name humpy, and adding to the creature's grotesque appearance. Once they enter fresh water, they will deteriorate at an alarming rate. Here in the Coquihalla, they have not even made it 100 kilometers before their mindless quests destroy their bodies. The journey of these fish will continue into the winter, with the coho, the feistiest and most resistant of the Pacific salmon, bringing up the rear and spawning into January. Whether you think of it as a zombie plague or a miracle of nature, the salmon will come, they will stink and they will die, but they will also bring life and a new generation of salmon. Without the plague, we'd lose millions of pounds of food. The ecosystem would miss a gift of biomass from the ocean. They may stink and they may be ugly, but they are a natural phenomenon that needs protecting. The rivers are getting harder for the exhausted zombies to navigate, and the children of those zombies continue to lose their rearing habitat in estuaries and wetlands. Salmon face rising water temperatures, overfishing, and pollution. In a world obsessed with zombies, these magnificent creatures should be celebrated, not destroyed.